We started off historically in screening for chromosomal abnormalities, in screening for Down syndrome. And the reason for that was that people sat down and they said Down's is a condition that for some people is a handicapping condition. For some families, they don't want to have a baby with Down's. It's a condition that is serious enough for those people because these babies will come and they will live for many years. At the back of screening for Down's, almost by accident, we realized that you can also identify babies with trisomy 18 and 13. We would never have introduced a screening test for trisomy 18 and 13 on their own because these are conditions that are lethal. But somehow, screening for trisomy 18 and 13 was a beneficial consequence of screening for Down's. And then we entered the era of cell-free DNA testing. And then suddenly the companies in their competition were trying to introduce additional conditions that their technology was allowing them to diagnose. And then we entered this period of marketing. The more, the better. And at that point, either because I'm very old and I'm becoming therefore conservative, or because I have seen mistakes happening in the past, I started being very negative about how the medical profession was taken up as tools by the marketing department of cell-free DNA companies. Many of those conditions that can now potentially be diagnosed by cell-free DNA testing may in themselves merit prenatal diagnosis. DGeorge is a bad condition. At one level, it is good to know because you can treat these babies immediately after birth. At another level, you can say a very high proportion of these children will have schizophrenia, they will have various disabilities that if we were to tell the parents consequences of the conditions, they would very much want to have prenatal diagnosis. But, which is the company that has provided the background? We have examined 200,000 pregnancies. We have taken outcome data from each one of them. We know exactly what is the performance, the detection rate and the screen positive rate, the false positive rate of our test. None of them. They have done few very, very small studies. They have made wide claims about the effectiveness of the screening, and people are buying into it, and I think it is wrong. Many conditions will merit being included in a cell-free DNA process of screening, but I think the companies need to invest a lot more in research to validate their tests. Many of the microdeletions in themselves, they're very devastating.
Yeah.
But are we abusing the patients by giving them inadequate information about the performance of our screening test? Because we are opening a Pandora's box here. We are now seeing a woman for the first time at 12 weeks. Most women, educated or uneducated, had an opinion about what is Down's. They had a feeling. And then suddenly you tell them, you know what? There are thousands of other conditions, microdeletions, and here we have this wonderful test that can detect some of them. Then we don't really know what is the performance of screening. If we enter that discussion, to me, the conclusion is all women should have an invasive test, and we may well terrorize the whole population to do so.